Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of an evening with Movement Radio. We're here with special guest AC Hutchison. AC, how's it going today?
Or good, how you doing? What's happening?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Thank you so much for being on the show. For the fans listening to this, me and AC go back a long way. Back in the old school Ridgeland High School days. I think he was in the same graduating class as my sister back 2007, I think.
Yes,
And that's how I knew Alex was. I knew him through my sister, and it wasn't until much later that we, I guess, our stars realigned when I dabbled in stand-up comedy and I actually seen him perform for the first time, and I thought that was like, oh shit, you're doing something kind of similar. So I guess we'll start off, Chip, if you want to start with the normal question you ask our guests first time they come on here.
Yeah. Simple is who is AC Hutchison?
Oh man, AC Hutchinson is a hard worker. He's a go-getter. That's pretty much. He's a grinder. He's upbeat all the time. Even I know life can suck sometimes, and you want to get down and frown, but I try to keep the same composure. No matter if I'm standing in a big pile of shit, I still like to somehow smile, even though it's hard.
Yeah,
Man,
absolutely.
it sounds like my kind of dude right there.
Exactly.
Yes,
Told you like this dude, man. I told you.
Telling to tell you, I got this innate ability to just, I just don't give a fuck.
He don't. He really don't.
It's one of those. I worry about the things that I can control, and the things that I can
yes,
control, I don't worry about.
yes.
I'm slowly figuring out how to do that.
So
Ever so
For me,
slowly, but it's happening. It's happening. Okay,
ooh,
so
take
Chip
some
asked
time.
the question. Chip asked the question, who is AC Hutchison? Now I'm going to ask you the question, who was AC Hutchison before you became who you are today? What led you to that way? You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a very good question. Alex was a fucking knucklehead, some would call in my younger days a man whore. I resent those days. We're not gonna get into that. But as a class clown, for one, that's how I really kind of knew I was kind of funny. I mean, because I made the class laugh and I got a lot of write-ups. So let you know that he loves you. I guess uh, definitely was a head, hard head. I had a lot to learn, man, and I'm still learning. So it's still a work in progress for me, but
Right,
that's who Alex was.
right. Do
If
you
I had to put,
yeah. Do you I guess I don't want to veer too far into the conversation just yet about stand up yet, but um did your upbringing have a lot to do with you taking the turn to becoming a stand up comedian?
absolutely, it's like every avenue I turned, it was like somebody was asking me to perform at church, little plays at church. It started out with plays actually, plays through churches, through Ridgeland. Actually, my 10th grade year, can't forget. I can forget her name. She was in the drama department. I can't think of her name. Was it
Was it
Miss
Miss
Huey?
Pitt?
Miss
Oh,
Huey.
what was it? Yeah, Miss Huey. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Miss
remember Miss Huey.
Huey. Yeah. So she gave me and a buddy of mine named Roderick Alexander. I know
I know
you might
Roddy.
be
I
familiar
know
with him.
Roddy.
Yeah.
I ain't heard from him
So
in God knows how long, but yeah,
yeah, yeah. So they gave us kind of like a leadway to like, hey, create these plays because one play we just threw a bunch of people together. We threw a plot, and it really at the time it sounded really silly, but that's obviously what the people liked because Mr. Peck kept telling us, hey, the principal at the time kept telling us, hey, let's keep doing that. That was actually pretty entertaining, so we just kept doing it and doing it, man, and so yeah, it's always been around, and plus I grew up in a bar. Oh, yeah, ironically, I grew up in a bar, so my dad was always telling jokes to all his friends and stuff. So I mean, it's always been around me, but not really a direction that I thought I would be going in.
Right. Man, what are some of the hobbies that you got besides stand up comedy? I definitely want to get into the stand up comedy, but
Right.
kind of what are some things besides stand up comedy that make you kind of tick?
Oh man, I'm a country boy at heart, man. I really am. I like swimming, dirt biking, four wheeling. You could catch me in the woods. You could catch me at the river. I like outdoors. I'm nature. I'm a nature boy at heart, really.
Who you gotta watch out on that nature boy. There's some people around here might think something about that.
Woo!
Yeah. I don't go at night. Let's just say that. I make sure it's in broad daylight. I don't want somebody to get suspicious. So.
Right. So, okay. So let's rewind a little bit. Okay. So at what point in your young life did it click for you and say, I want to end up doing stand-up comedy? Like, that's what I want to focus most of my attention on. When did that moment for you happen?
Uh, it's a funny story, really. I kind of actually lied my way into comedy, man. Yeah, I had a friend. He was a promoter around the area, and he was throwing together this comedy event, and he kept saying, like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I'm throwing together this event. You know some comedians?" And I mean, at the time, I was like, "Nah." He was like, "But I'm paying them." I was like, "Oh, you paying?" Like, "Oh." Uh, how much are you paying? And then he told me, and I was like, you know what? That actually don't sound bad. Rent was due, so I had to go ahead and say yes. Girlfriend at the time, she thought it was crazy, but yet she was ready to see me do terrible. So so we went ahead and went with it, man. And after the fact, it went terrible. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Uh,
They all go terrible.
it
The
went
first time
terrible.
is
It
always
went
terrible.
terrible. It was kind of like the 8 Mile, palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. It's vomit on the sweater. Yeah, all that was first time.
In other
Uh,
words, he's nervous.
yeah,
Right. Man,
yeah,
you describing what it was like when I had my very first wrestling match. Man, I'm standing there at the curtain, my music is playing. I'm like dripping sweat, ain't done nothing yet. Man, I'm gonna die. I'm fucking have a heart attack before I get out here.
Yeah.
You know?
It's I think that's the way everybody feels before they go do something, whether it's your first
right,
wrestling match or the first time you go on stage, the first time you know, you with a pretty girl and something's fixing to go to that next level. Everybody
right.
has those moments of
Yeah,
nervousness before things. Do you still feel that way when you perform?
absolutely. And I know a professional, somebody who I consider a friend and a slight mentor myself, Charles Allen, always told me, man, he said, I've been in this game for a while. It never leaves, man. Like that nervousness, no matter how long you've been doing it, 10, 15 years in the game, you go and still experience it. I do experience it, and I was like, man, come on, I've been almost 4 years into this. When is this going to go away? But it's there, and until your name is called, it's when it goes away for me.
I completely understand. You know, been wrestling for almost 20 years, and every time,
Ooh.
yeah, every time I stand in front of
The
that
old
curtain and that music plays, and it happens especially when you're in a new place, someplace I've never wrestled before. I'm like, man, all right, are these people gonna take to me? Are they gonna love me? They're gonna hate me? Where am I at and everything? And I imagine the same would be, when you're performing comedy at like a new venue or whatnot. You're like, man, is my stuff gonna hit here like it did, across town or whatnot, right?
Right. That's the thing, man. And I had to learn that quick in the comedy business, man. It's different strokes for different folks. Uh Different places like different shit, different people like different jokes. You got You got to look at the crowd. You really got to know your audience is what
Yeah.
I've learned, man. You have
That
got to. Whew.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've learned. Like when I was dabbling in stand up for a while, I would do the set that I did at the Comedy Catch, and I remember Luke Martyr. You know Luke.
Oh yeah,
Luke.
great guy. Love him to
I can
death.
honestly say that in terms of somebody helping me out, like Luke helped me out a bunch. Like I can seriously say him, Bridget Martin, and a couple of others have actually like really helped me out. Eric Loomis.
Oh yeah, shout
But
out to the
Luke,
home team. Hello.
it's funny.
Uh,
If nobody else laughs, that's on them. If you think it's funny,
Right.
it's funny. And then you go out there, you perform your set, and then you do your set, and it's like, okay, it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to go, but man, I had people laughing. It was cool, awesome. And then you go back maybe the next month and do another open mic night at the same place, kind of the same group of people, same type of people that like the same type of comedy. You do your set again because it's been a while. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, it's still hitting, it's still hitting. And then you go over to JJ's to do their open mic night on Wednesday nights. You do the exact same set thinking you're going to, okay, it's a different crowd. They haven't heard this, so they'll think it's funny. And then you realize these jokes aren't hitting the way I thought they would, and
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you might as well have thought a fucking terrorist attack happened because I bombed, like it was, it was god fucking awful, man. And I don't know what, and what's so funny is that before the show, we were all bullshitting backstage and stuff. Like, we were telling jokes backstage and stuff like that.
Right.
My buddy Brian Smith came up to me and he was like, bro, a lot of what you were saying beforehand was funnier than what you said on stage. You should have said the shit out back here, what you should have said on stage. And I'm like, well, fuck, And then that was at the time when I told Chip, I said, like, man, I fucking bombed. And Chip was like, well, you should have let us know. We could have been there to support you. And I was like, well, fuck it. Next week's my birthday. If you guys want to give me a birthday present, y'all come check me out on my birthday at the Comedy Catch. So I spent my birthday at the Comedy Catch performing, but I performed in front of like 16 of my friends and everybody else who paid to get in there. And that was actually a show that I enjoyed. I mean, the second half of the act wasn't as funny as the first half of the act, but and that's just because, everyone, like, I'm that guy. Like, I have to know what I did wrong to help me get better. Are you like that in some way? Like, if a joke didn't hit right, do you want somebody to say, hey, that joke wasn't funny, here's the reason why it wasn't funny, and you want that constructive criticism?
Absolutely. And one thing that I really respect, man, and I have this in the Chattanooga community, man. I have several of my peers, the other comedians will come up and be like, they'll critique you, and I'm all for it. And there's some of them that are real polite and be like, hey, you mind if I give you some pointers? Like, they're so like nice about it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you mind if I give you pointers on that certain joke? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm all for it. Like, one guy actually gave me some real good construction criticism that I actually ended up putting on. I ended up switching a few things around on the jokes based on what me and him had discussed, and it made that joke pop. So yeah, I'm all for it. I mean,
Right.
because I would rather you tell me that than just send me out like, oh man, this guy fucking sucks. We're gonna let him suck too. I don't. So yes, I appreciate that, brother.
That sound familiar to you, Chip?
Yeah, all the time. Stand-up comedy, I'm getting this very distinct feel for like what wrestling is, because you would go out and have a match, and then you come back and you ask somebody, man, how was the match? What can I do better? And everything. And they'd be like, oh man, it was great. That right there tells you they didn't watch shit.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Uh
Wrestlers.
yeah, man. Love it. It's all I've ever wanted to do. Up until we started this podcast. And then I fell in love with podcasting, and I spend most of my time doing this now.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting story about wrestling. Not a lot of people know this, but actually growing up, if I was a huge wrestling fan. I mean, everything I wanted for Christmas, birthdays, fucking Hanukkah, fucking you name it, any holiday. I
Your family
wanted.
celebrated Hanukkah?
Hey, if it meant getting a
If we
present, yeah, we
did.
Are you Sammy Davis, my brother? What the hell?
Right. Love Sammy Davis to death.
I'll tell you something, man.
But yeah, brother, I used to want to be a wrestler, but it kind of broke my heart when I was a Rock and Stone Cold fan. So when they stopped doing their thing, I kind of lost interest in it. I still watch it, of course, but I was back in the day that attitude version of WWE or WWF at the time. That's what I was into. So kind of weeded myself away from that a little bit and took on other things, such as rapping. I used to be a rapper, but my younger days, that's what I wanted to do. But
Hey,
but that didn't take off.
Right.
man,
Right.
I say there are no dumb ideas. The only dumb idea is something you didn't try.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we were gonna come kick it with you this past week. I don't know when exactly this episode's gonna drop. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna drop at the end of the month.
Okay.
But like as of this time of the recording, we were gonna kick it with you just last night
Right.
down at Undisputed 3.
Yes.
Unfortunately, like what I said, like the only reason why I was wanting to go because my boy Reese was performing, and
Yeah, shout
then
out to Reese.
when he told me Friday that his opponent backed out, I was like, well, fuck. Like, I mean, shout out to all the other battle rappers and stuff. He's been very good at supporting Movement Radio, and that's when I approach Chip and be like, he supports us, let's support him.
Right.
So if he ain't there, we ain't got nobody to support. So what we supposed to do,
Right.
Not
Right.
supporting the league or a network, I'm supporting my homie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
but yeah, and that's kind of like it with you too. Like that's one reason why like I wanted to get you on the podcast, because I know how dedicated you are and how dedicated you've been performing, going to different places, down to Atlanta and down to Alabama and different places like that.
Right.
Who were some of your biggest influences when it came to creating your stand-up? Like, who did you like? Who did you admire as a stand-up comedian?
It's a lot of different influences. A couple of them, I hate to. I mean, as far as it comes to stand up, I know this guy's in turmoil right now, but the old school Bill Cosby, I felt like he had a good household brand of comedy. Eddie Murphy, even, of course. I mean, you cannot mention comedy without Eddie Murphy. Bill Burr's, Jeff Foxworthy's, even, man. I mean, I'm inspired by a lot, because a lot of that is like stuff that we can relate to. And even if we can't relate to it, funny is funny. I mean,
Exactly.
Right.
So that's what it all boils down to. So the Dave Chappelle's, the Gary Owens, even I've actually seen him firsthand before I started comedy. I've seen him and Bruce and Mike Epps. I went to a show of theirs at the Memorial Auditorium. It was a pretty good experience, and that's before. That's crazy. That's like a year before I ever even thought about doing comedy.
Oh
I
wow.
just wanted to be a spectator, and I still wasn't interested in it after I left. It was just like, oh, hey, that was cool, stand up. Everybody loves stand up,
Yeah. So talk to us about the very first time you were on stage.
Oh God. There's still a video floating around somewhere with that, and it was terrible.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I
oh
may have to
God.
look that up. I may have to look that
God.
up
It
and
was
insert it into the
yeah. It
episode.
was okay. So well, the thing is, I didn't realize how big of a movement this guy had. or big of a following that he had behind him when he threw his shows. So I'm going into the show thinking, man, it ain't gonna be nothing but 5, 10 people here. Man, I get there and that motherfucker is like sold out, people standing up, and I'm like, so this is how my first show is gonna go. Okay. So I got nervous, drank a little bit, couple shots, tried to knock the edge off. That didn't even work. I mean, as soon as I hit that stage, like I sobered up when I seen those lights and people looking at me, and like I was gonna actually hide it because I was just in it for the money. I was gonna hide it, so I didn't tell anybody about it. What happened is the guy made a flyer and my face is on the flyer.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, so then I had people inboxing me left and right, like, "Oh man, you do stand up now? That's awesome! Like, we're coming, we're coming to support." And I was just like, "No, no, please, no." I'm like, no, fuck that.
No.
Yeah, it was kind of like Home Alone, like, but
Man, there's one thing about bombing in front of a bunch of people that you don't know, but bombing in front of a bunch of people that you do know is even worse
you
because
gotta
then
live with that.
you got to worry about they gonna call me, they gonna Facebook
Hmm.
me, they gonna show up at my house, and then it's
Hmm.
just gonna be they're gonna be making fun of me, and
Right.
Mhm.
everything. You don't you just don't want that.
Right. And there's some
Right.
people that haven't been to my show since that day, so they still think I suck.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And
But
I've been trying to get those people back, but oh well.
yeah, but I mean, it's something that just gets better the more you do it. I mean,
Yeah.
no one just bam pops up and you're the greatest stand-up comedian or the greatest wrestler or the greatest actor or whatever. Like a lot of it takes time, and
Right.
you have to go through failures, and you have to go through those moments where you actually have doubt, and then you have to fight your way through it, and then it ends up, you end up becoming better, and then slowly but surely you end up gaining more ground, and slowly but surely you'll end up gaining more respect and more fans. Um, was there anybody in the local Chattanooga area who I already asked this question, but is there one particular person in the Chattanooga area who gave you the best advice that you've ever given? Is there one particular person who was like almost like a mentor to you?
Oh, there's a couple, really, man. But the first guy that I would have to say is a guy named Willie B. Uh, his name is Willie B. Jr. He's a local guy to Chattanooga. He's moved to Atlanta recently. He was actually the first guy. Like he was at my first show because he was performing too. That's how I met him. And like I said, I bombed, I sucked, but he came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, this is what you need to work on. This is if you're willing to take my feedback, I'll give it." So he just gave me his feedback, man, and from then on, it's just been like we somehow end up around the same area, or sometimes even at the same show. A good friendship over that, and I appreciate him, man. He's the first person that reached out to me, um, offering some feedback, so I appreciate him.
Chip,
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's video. Oh, okay.
No.
Your
I'm here.
video froze. Like, oh shit! No, we don't. No.
Hey, man, we say this every time. It wouldn't be movement radio without some kind of slip up or mishap, and we just kind of roll with the punches and keep on going. Um, but
Yep.
yeah, so what I would say from that first time of being on stage, what was the one thing that kind of resonated that you took from that, whether it was good or bad, that you've used since then?
Never get booed again. That was that was big because my first time I got booed because I froze up, man. I literally tripped over my words. I couldn't. I didn't. I came out hot though because they let you pick your music. So I came out to my favorite jam. So I came out dancing, and I was real excited. I looked like I was about to fucking kill it. And then, yeah, it ended up killing me.
Then you couldn't remember what the words were.
Uh, yeah, man. I mean, like I couldn't remember my words, and what's crazy is like I had never been in that situation, so I didn't know how to write jokes. So I just literally wrote topics, and I wrote the topics down on my hand, the palm of my hand, so I can just look at the topic and be like, okay, there's a story right there. So it'd be like, for instance, it'd be cockroaches. So I'd write cockroaches, and I'd be like, oh yeah, just tell a crazy story about cockroaches. And then women that fart. Okay, women that fart. Just tell a crazy story about women that fart. So it was,
Yeah.
it was just,
Yeah,
it was
like
just
no, like
man.
no correlation, like no chaining together jokes or anything like
No,
that. Like you knew nothing about scheme, you knew nothing about
no,
like cadence or anything. Like, yeah,
no, nothing.
that's one thing. Like the one thing that's like with every, kind of like a wrestling match in a sense. Like you don't start off with a lockup and then the very next second, oh, you're doing a Canadian destroyer, and then you're going back to a headlock. Like
Right.
that don't work.
Right.
There has to be like a series of events that lead up to the event. Like when I did my stand-up, like a lot of what I talked about earlier on, like I talk about, like my family, like my family life, things like that. And then
Right.
it transitioned into me having a big ass forehead, because my son's got a big
Bro,
ass
you do
forehead.
have a
It kind
big
of
ass
blends into
forehead,
blah, blah,
though.
blah. I do have a big ass forehead. Shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Hey, this motherfucker don't have dreams. He has motion pictures.
Bruh. Like, bruh, like I swear to God, dude, if you painted a white H on my head, a fucking helicopter would land in here right now. Like, or a fucking drone or something. But yeah, man. But I mean, it all has to be leading up to a series of an events. Was there a particular joke that like hits every single time for you whenever you tell it, and you're like, okay, I know this joke is gonna hit, but I can't say it over and over and over again because I'm worried that it's gonna fucking, it's gonna get stale after a while. And sometimes jokes can last, the test of time or whatever. But is there one particular joke that you do or did rather, where it's like, I know this is gonna be a home run every single time I tell it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of comedians have those jokes in their back pocket to fall back on, because sometimes when we try new jokes out, it might not hit like we want it to hit. So we'll have that energy getter, as we call it sometimes, where it'll bring the energy back up. So yeah, I have a couple jokes actually that would definitely be my go-to. Works every time, no matter the crowd. And it's crazy because I came up with the joke in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Because it was a situation that happened, and it just hit me. There's a situation that happened with my landlord, so it just hit me. I was like, wow, maybe you should use this. And then I don't have a joke consultant, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like try this. I don't know, see what my grandma or somebody thinks about this. You know what I'm saying? So I called up a couple family members or something, ran the joke by them. I ran the joke by my ex-girlfriend, and it was just like, so it's like, oh, okay, this might hit. So went down to the open mic, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and try this one. And man, it was instant. Instant. It just hit me, and the crowd's reaction to it was great. So I was like, you know what? That's gonna be my closer. I'm gonna use that as a closer.
Yeah, I've actually, that's that
It's old
was some
though.
funny shit too.
Whew.
Yeah, I remember people in the back, because most of the comedians stand in the back. I just remember, I can't remember if it was Harris, or I can't remember if it was Matt Harris, or if it was Eric, but I heard somebody just be like, oh, that's the funniest shit. I want to say it was Eric, but I can't. You probably heard it from the stage, so
yeah.
But yeah, because I had to go on after you, and I don't know if you remember, because I think you had left, and I got up on stage like right after you did, and I grabbed the mic and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna follow this shit? And that.
Oh, you actually did great though, man. I got great reviews on you though. I really did. I
Yeah,
got great
you know,
reviews on
but
YouTube.
I haven't dabbled in it since God. I want to say since April of 2019. That was the last time I was on stage. Yeah. But at the same time, I was focused more on wrestling at that
Right.
time because we were hitting because me and Chip, we were like really hitting it hard, on the tag team
Hmm.
scene, going around to different places
Right.
and stuff. And
Oh, so this
then
is your
we
tag
were,
team partner.
Yeah.
yeah, that's my tag team. That's Chip of the
Oh
movement, bro. Yeah,
shit.
that's the other half of the movement.
Okay.
That there's a reason the podcast is called Movement Radio.
Ah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I
yeah, man,
remember the
you would
first
Fucking
think.
time.
awesome, bro.
Yeah. I remember the first time I went and seen Talon do stand-up comedy. There was like this 120-year-old dude that did comedy before him, and it was the raunchiest, nastiest, funniest shit I'd ever heard in my life.
No, it was after him. He was after me. He
Was
was
he?
after me.
Oh, I
He was
thought he
after
was
me.
before you.
No. He was after me. He was two comedians after me, and then that poor girl had to get on after him. Remember, because I said
Yeah,
I'm glad I
bro,
went
he
on
came
before
out.
him because I know I would not have done good if I would have went on after him. I know I wouldn't have.
Bro, I don't know
Because I was
this
like,
dude's name or
so
anything, but he came out and I was looking like he come out on stage and I was like, man, what in the hell? Like, is this geriatric night or something? And he just went in. He just went in and man, I fell out of my chair laughing. I was like, man, I never heard from him since. I don't know if he's still alive or anything, but I mean,
uh,
Shit, if
I,
he's
I,
102.
I
I
mean, dude was old.
golly, yeah.
Wow.
Let me ask you this question, and it is kind of a serious topic. Um, since since the COVID situation has been the biggest deal of 2020, and things have gotten somewhat better, and then they've gotten back to worse, and they went back to better, and then it's a roller coaster for everybody as far as this virus. Are we gonna find a fucking vaccination for it? Is it wrong? Whatever. That's for different. I'm not trying to get political about this bullshit because I fucking hate politics. But how has the COVID situation affected you from a stand-up perspective?
Um, it it only really affected like the first couple of months. I think the first couple of months during the pandemic, it really started to affect it. But then you got people are trying to find different ways to make it happen still. So you got Zooms, you got online stand up. I mean, people are trying to get these jokes off because it's hard to hold these jokes in when you know you probably wrote a good one and you just want to get it off, but it's still not the same. So I'd probably say the first couple months it was really affecting, but other than that, man, it picked up. I'd say for me bigger than it was beforehand. So
Oh wow.
didn't really affect. Yeah, it really didn't affect much, man, because Tennessee passed a law uh, as far as entertainment business uh, places go, is you can be open, but you have to be at a capacity, a certain percentage capacity,
Right, right.
and also practice the COVID precautions as well. So that's basically what Tennessee is like. Okay, we'll let the entertainment business is open, but you got to promise us that you'll maintain the COVID guidelines, and everything's everything. So we've got together with Bridget Martin. Love Bridget. Shout out to Bridget.
Shout
Thank
out to
you
Bridget.
for all she's done. I'm telling you, one of the hardest working female comedians or comedians in this area. She's helped a lot of venues. We actually, my first show, um, when the pandemic was when they kind of released they were a little lax on the laws from COVID. Was Bridget put me on this show where it was socks and undies for the homeless.
Okay.
So literally everything was donated to the homeless for that show. So we just did this thing to where we were going around to different venues and the profits would go directly to the venues. Because I mean, we as stand up, we know we ain't gonna make a lot of money. So I mean, we're just trying to find the funny, and you I mean, you find the funny, and hopefully one day find the money. I mean, that's
Hey, I
what
like
we
that
hope.
slogan
But
right there.
Right. I like it. I
yeah,
like it, bro. I like it. I like it
yeah,
a lot.
Find the
yeah.
funny, find the
So that's
money.
what we hope in the stand up world. But
Find the money.
right.
Absolutely, man. And let me ask this question: where's the funnest place that you've ever performed?
uh, well, well, first
Ain't
I'll
no
have to.
this podcast isn't PG, bro. You can say what the fuck you want, okay? You just unless it's incriminating. In that case, kayfabe.
Right. Well, I almost performed in a strip club before, but that's a whole nother story.
We're gonna have to come back to that story.
But okay. Aside from the comedy catch,
Yeah.
right. Aside from the comedy catch, because I do got to give a shout out to the home team because they've been great to me.
Absolutely.
So aside from the comedy catch, I would say, wow, that's a good question because it's been a couple of places. But if I had to, funnest place, I would say hands down would be the Laughing Skull in Atlanta.
Okay.
Laughing Skull in Atlanta. I mean, literally, man, those people, I don't know what's in the water. I don't know if they slip them people ecstasy when they come in the fucking place, but these people, I really feel like they on shrooms or something because that giggle box, I mean, is there. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, I can't even get anything out, and they're, oh my God, that is funny. I was like, man, I just said hi. That's all I said. I didn't anything. I just say, how y'all doing? Oh my God, he's hilarious. So I love it. It's a booster though. It's a booster though because you don't get that love everywhere else, and when you don't, it's kind of like, oh fuck, Let's
Yeah.
get back to that other place.
I'll tell you one quick story, and it's wrestling related, but it's kind of similar to what you were talking about. We go to all these different, we do different towns and things like that, and there's
Right.
certain places that know us, and we
Right.
would do certain shows. Like if we perform in Rossville, they know us. If we perform
Right.
in Ringgold or something, yeah, they know. If we perform in Canton, Georgia, we're gods, but that's a different story.
Right.
We actually performed in Chattanooga at a place for Stoveworks, and literally it was a tag match between us and our buddies, the Hatriots,
Right.
and all we did was go out there and bullshit. Like that's all we did was go out there and bullshit. And you could have swore to God like everybody's seen the greatest match of all time. And we really didn't even do anything that crazy, but the energy that the crowd gave us
Right.
propelled us to be like all I did was just a tumble roll in the ring. People were like, yay! So I'm like, I'm gonna do it again. I rolled again, yay! And I looked at my buddy Eli, who's in the ring. I was like, you do it. He went to do it, hit his head. Everybody started laughing. So I tagged Chip in the ring. Chip got in the ring and he rolled, yay! The whole thing was just great. And it was all just gaga,
You love that.
But once we hooked him with that, when we actually started to wrestle, then people were more into it. And then once you got closer toward the end, where the triumphant baby faces win at the end, oh my God, the crowds go absolutely wild and crazy, And I think that if you can hook them with the first part, then you can kind of I don't want to say play with the rest of it, but you can definitely if you're very focused and dedicated to doing it after the fact, after you hook them, whether it's, with some type of tomfoolery or whatever, as long as you hook them, then you can continue to do it. Is it the same kind of mindset with comedy in the sense that you can hook somebody with that first opening joke, and then once you got them, it's like, I got them, I can lead them where I want them to go, And if I'm leading them one direction, it's like that ain't working. Oh, you guys are too smart for that. Let me lead you back this way. Is it like that for you?
Absolutely, man. And a lot of, and I'll tell this to a lot of comedians out there trying that might be in their earlier years in stand up is you definitely want, and what I've learned, you want to start out with a good joke that you know is going to hit. That way, it grabs their attention, and anything you throw in between there is they're either going to trust you or they're not. But you always keep that one in your back pocket to bring the energy back up. So it's basically what I've learned and what I've been taught is that it's all about energy, keeping that energy. If you bring the energy when you first come there, keep it up. If you're not bringing the energy, find some way to get it. But you're gonna have to get that energy up out of some way. But I know with that crowd at the Laughing Skull, man, what I did is I came out with a good hitter, and like I said, this place, their giggle box was so much there. I was trying old shit that I knew didn't work, and it still was working. I was like, you know what? Y'all appreciate, yeah, I fucking love y'all, man. I'm gonna kiss every one of y'all in the mouth, and I told them that too.
And they probably would have let you too.
Probably.
All right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Right.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, you said the Laughing Box was, aside from the Comedy Catch, one of your favorite places to go and do comedy.
I know where this is going.
What
1 second.
what is your least favorite? One place that you go and you hit the jokes that they hit everywhere, but these motherfuckers just want to sit on their hands or look on their phone.
ooh, ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
I come with the
That
shit.
is a good. Ooh. What? Oh man, let me.
Yeah, I was softballing you questions. He finna come at you with a swerve.
Okay, I like it. Oh man,
He's the relief
let me
pitcher.
think.
It's good cop,
Let
bad
me
cop.
think on that one. Oh man, Whew. I performed at a lot of places. Shit. I will say, I'll have to say, there's this place in Chattanooga. It's called the Camp House, and that's actually where I had my first show at. It's a different crowd.
Okay.
It's a real different crowd there every time, and like I can hit these people with, I'm talking the works. I can hit them with the works, sprinkle cheese on it, and put sour cream on top, and they still just like, you got more. You need to
Man.
go a little bit more nastier, or you need to do this. Yeah, it's just like, I'm just like, man, I just hit y'all with the works. I even put chili on it. I didn't charge you 50 cents extra. But like, come on.
Should have put the ketchup
But
on it.
yeah, right. But that place is no longer there anymore. But it was a private event place. I always used to get paid to go there though, so that made up for. I've actually opened up for some really good name comedians there. Ashima Franklin, who actually performed with Cat Williams on the Cat Williams tour, and also K Dub. He's actually signed with Grand Hustle. He's a Ti has uh, he has a comedy group, and he's
Oh,
a
nice.
part of that. So
That's
him and
nice.
the Grand Hustle crew came down, um, and I opened up for those guys. So it was nice. It was nice to meet them. They were real good people. We had a good time. They were real like, I had to throw my material away when I heard theirs because mine wasn't dirty enough for that crowd. It wasn't dirty enough. I guess I was ready for church and they was ready for the strip club Magic City on Sunday. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Magic City's not open on. I didn't think Magic City was open on Sunday. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
they
Go
might
ahead.
be.
What?
Private events maybe, but hey, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just a young Christian man. I don't know anything about that stuff.
So you wait, hold on, time out. So you ain't never been up in Club One, Tweezy? Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I've enjoyed God's creatures on this earth. Hey,
I,
we
I I'm
all
right there
human.
with
Put the topping on the
I
stand.
done helped supported somebody's college fund before. I mean, that's all we doing is helping a college fund.
That's
Oh
right.
God.
Probably helping with a dime bag every now and then. I'm cool with that
Right.
too.
Um, so are you originally from the Chattanooga area, or were you born somewhere else and moved here?
Well, I've been between the Chattanooga area, also the Northwest Georgia area, and between there and Atlanta. We spent a lot of time in Atlanta when I was younger because we had a family member up there that we was real close with. So I remember a lot of days in Atlanta. So when I grew up, that's why like I perform a lot in Atlanta. So because it's been so familiar to me for so long, it's like it's second home. So I do a pretty good percentage of my shows there before the pandemic, but since Atlanta's still kind of shut down right now, they still do a little stand up here and there. It's They're starting to come back slowly, so I'll definitely be performing a little bit more there once they get back up and running. But right now it's a little iffy.
Right, right. I
But
understand that.
yeah, pretty much around this area
Okay.
between here and because it's all bunched together. Atlanta, Chattanooga, Northwest Georgia, it's all bunched together. So I mean,
Yeah.
literally, you we don't even call it out of town. We just say, "Oh, I'm here. I'm there."
Right.
It's just I'm in
Right.
Atlanta. Some
Um,
Well,
people get fancy and be like, "I'm going out of town." Oh, I'll holler at you later. I'm going out of town. Where you going? Oh, I'm just going to Atlanta. Motherfucker, you ain't going out of
that
town.
ain't out of town. That
You
ain't out
no.
going
of
next
town.
door. Shut the hell up.
Uh,
Right. So yeah. So my wife was born in Jasper, Georgia, and
Oh,
yeah. So it's down there. It's about maybe halfway between Chattanooga and Atlanta. Maybe it's definitely closer to the Atlanta side.
right.
So when
yeah,
when
but it's
someone
still in the
says
middle of no fucking where.
it is in the middle of nowhere. But they asked my wife. She says they say, well, where are you originally from? She goes, well, I'm from Jasper. Oh, Jasper, Tennessee. I know where that is. No, not Jasper, Tennessee. Jasper, Georgia. Where's that at? It's around Canton, Ball Ground, Walking Talking Rock. No, no. Okay, it's around. Let's see, Chatsworth, Atlanta, bitch. I'm from Atlanta. Okay, I'm best
Right.
friends with Usher. Amy
Right.
got so damn frustrated with this woman, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, let me pull you away so you don't have to do nothing insane or anything like that.
Right. Right.
You
You
know.
got to use some of them moves you taught her.
Oh no, if she taught her any of the moves I taught her, I'd be dead by now. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
really?
I
Oh,
pissed her off
dang.
way too many times for her to not
Oh,
to use anything on me. So trust
oh,
me.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know, man. She country as fuck. I don't. I
Oh,
ain't made her.
man.
I ain't pissed her off to the point to where she'll kill me. But I don't want to take that chance. You know.
Right.
I got a
Right.
king size bed, motherfucker. I want to sleep in it. It gets
Hell
cold out there in the
yeah.
cul-de-sac.
Ooh, yes, sir. Yes,
Anyway, Chip
sir.
knows.
uh, I've been around for a minute. Don't worry. I've been around. What's the farthest you've ever traveled to do a show?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Um, yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. I actually built a good relationship with the owner of the club out there. I'm actually due to go back here pretty soon. But Jacksonville, drove out to Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm talking about this probably had to be one of the sexiest stages that I've ever performed on. I mean, it was one of those like it had like a runway stage to where it's like, the kind that Justin Bieber be on, and he just walk you like he walked through the crowd, and you can touch people, and they sit around you and shit, and got a
Almost
table
like
in
almost
front
like
of them.
Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah, yeah, it was a real nice stage. So you can basically walk the stage. You can walk out into the crowd a little bit, and just interact a lot. So it was great. But yeah, Jacksonville so far, that's God, and that was like 6.5 hours, 6.5, 7 hours.
Something like that. Yeah.
Then
Hey, but when you're
again,
there, you can check out AEW.
hey, right. Then again, I kind of want to say Missouri but it wouldn't have been that long. But I got lost on the way there, so it was actually a little longer than than I had planned.
Man,
so
Damn.
yeah, I made that trip longer.
Damn. Man.
man, I'm gonna tell you a
What the fuck am I
story
doing in
real quick.
Chicago?
I'm gonna tell you a story real quick, and you gonna laugh your ass
Okay.
off. It's about a road
Okay.
trip we took for wrestling. Alan
Oh
knows where we
shit.
Come
going.
on, man. You gonna do me like this on the
Nope.
podcast?
Oh
Come on,
This
bro.
shit.
ain't
Oh
this one ain't
shit.
you.
Yeah.
This one ain't you. Uh man,
Okay,
we went to this place called Gunnersville, Alabama.
bruh.
We wrestle at this place. It's supposed to be at a church, right? And it's an old
Okay.
filling station that they've converted into a church. The ring,
Wow.
yeah, the ring is in a corner, like directly in the corner where one side of the ring, if you hit the ropes, you hit a cinder block wall. The other side,
Damn.
if you hit it, you hitting a bay door. So you really only got two sides of the ring to work with. It was fucked up. So
Very fucked up.
yeah. So we get our money. We do
Wow.
the show. Oh yeah, man. We do the show, we get our money, and we're heading back home. And my buddy Chad, he was driving. We all rode down in his minivan. So he's driving. And I'm like, we all got to work in the
Okay.
morning except for him. So I was like, man, I'm gonna catch some Z's, wake me up when we get close to the house. Right before I doze off, I seen the fucking sign that says Chattanooga this way. Right? And I said, hey,
Okay.
I think we supposed to take that exit to go to Chattanooga. He said, man, I asked the dude for directions. He said, just stay on this road and it'll take us right there. I'm like, all right, man, you asked for the directions. You got the directions. You know what the hell you doing. I go to sleep. I wake up to the bright lights of Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm like, hold on, man. Hold on. You, man, tell me I'm dreaming. We not in Huntsville, are we? He was like, yeah, man, I think we in Huntsville. I was like, man, I thought you said you asked for directions. He said, I did. They told me to stay on this road. I said, I bet they told you to stay on this road till you seen that fucking sign we seen 2 hours back that way.
Right.
I said,
Damn.
No, that ain't the worst of it.
I
That
said,
ain't the
man,
worst.
pull into this gas station. I'm gonna go ask for directions. So he whips in. Now, mind you, we all still got wrestling gear on. We didn't change. We just jumped in the car to come home. So
Right.
we whip into this gas station and I go in and there's an Arabic dude behind the counter. And I said, hey, man, we're lost. I need to get to Chattanooga. How do I get there? He said, you want Chattanooga? You'll go California. I said, no, man, I don't think you understand me. I need to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm not trying to go to California. I need to get to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he gets a little frustrated with me. He said, you want Chattanooga? You'll go California.
You go California.
And I'm like, man, I'm looking at this motherfucker like, I know there's a language barrier here, but I'm pretty clear that I said Chattanooga. So I asked him again. I was like, man, look, it's been a long night. I'm trying to get home. I need to get to Chattanooga. Can you tell me how to get there or not? This motherfucker comes out from behind the counter. And I'm like, man, I'm finna have to fight this motherfucker over some directions. He grabs me by the hand, escorts me out.
And walked in.
This motherfucker grabs me by the hand and escorts me out of the store. Turns me around.
Like you would do with your fucking kid.
Yes, and points at a street sign. He said, you want Chattanooga? You'll go California. It was fucking California Avenue, bro. Man,
What the fuck? Oh
man, I was so mad. I was so mad.
that is
I was
some
like,
shit there.
man, I'm yelling at everyone. I'm getting a goddamn car. We going the fuck home. I'm driving. Where's the key? Man, we hop in the van and we go down this road and we probably 3 or 4 miles down the road and I see another gas station. I said, I'm whipping into this motherfucker. Somebody gonna give me some accurate directions. I whip in and there's a
Hell
black dude
yeah.
sitting outside drinking a 40. And I jump out and I'm like,
True. True. Hand to God, true. I know. I bummed the menthol cigarette from him. I know.
bro. Man, I jump out and I was like, hey man. I was like, hey man, I'm lost like a motherfucker. I'm trying to
It
get
was
to
a shot in the dark.
Chattanooga. And I stopped at a gas station down the road. He said, was it one of them Arabic motherfuckers? I said, yeah. He said, man, they don't know shit. What you want to do is get on this road, go up about 2 pieces, and you'll see a sign that says 24 East. You want to get on that and stay on that till you get to Chattanooga. I said, man, that's the best goddamn directions anybody done give me tonight.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Chip, love you, bro, but there's one more story you got to tell him.
Shit, which
There's one more story that you got to tell him. Hold on. It's the story of you and our boys Dion and Jay coming back from North Carolina. You got to tell that story. Alex, you are going to shit a brick. And scene.
All right, so I got to set the scene with, do you remember when McDonald's had Mighty Wings?
Oh yeah,
Them shits was the bomb, right?
sure was.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So me, my boy Dion, my boy Joey, Joey's wife, my wife, we jump in the car and we go to Myrtle Beach for a wrestling show. 9-hour drive, right?
Okay.
Man, we get there, we have a blast at this show. My boy Joey ain't never seen the ocean a day in his life. So I was like, man, shit, we 30 minutes from the ocean. I got to take you. So we go to the ocean. We do a little swimming trip. Boom, jump in the car, heading home. Everybody hungry. So he's like, shit, McDonald's got them Mighty Wings. Let's go ahead and whip in and get some Mighty Wings. So we each get like a 20 piece.
Yeah.
We each get like a 20 piece. And we fucking down these motherfuckers. We hit the road and we about 30 minutes down the road. Man, tummy started rumbling. Shit, gotta take a shit. So we whip off, hop, take a shit, boom, jump back in the car. And this happens every 30 minutes like clockwork. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know what was in these wings, but they fucked us up. So,
Oh my god.
yes, bro. So we hit this one gas station. It's a truck stop. Boom. It's got 3 stalls, 2 urinals, 3 stalls. There's 3 of us. So I go all the way to the end. Boom. Lock the door, do my business. Joey goes in the middle, Dion goes in the first one. All of a sudden, we in there, and all you hear, I mean, it's bad. All of a sudden, you hear the door open. You hear the door open, and then you hear a rattle on Dion's door. And he's like, occupied. They go to the next one, rattle Joey's door. Joey says, occupied. They come to mine, rattle the door, occupied. They go back to Dion's. They rattle that motherfucker again. Go back to Joey's, rattle his, come back to mine, rattle mine. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear, well, they're all occupied. Should I just blow you right here or what?
Oh shit! Oh man,
bro. It,
that is some shit
it's
there.
dead quiet. That shit happens and it's dead quiet. And all of a sudden, Joey starts busting out laughing. And you hear it. And it's one of them guttural laughs. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of this guttural laugh, you hear the doo doo like hit the water, and you hear bro. Two dudes. I don't know if they did their thing or what, but they leave. We finish our business, wash our hands. We walk out the bathroom, and in truck stops, a lot of times they have like a restaurant in there, so you can get some food or whatnot,
Uh-huh.
right? This one, in
Right.
particular, had a Dairy Queen in it. We walk out and we see these two motherfuckers sharing an ice cream cone. Mm-hmm. Yep. We
Hey,
walk out.
what?
Yep. We walk outside. We find the girls. We like get in the car. We got to get in the fucking car. We got to go now. And they're like, "No, what's going on? What's going on?" So we trying to get them in the car while telling the story. And the two dudes walk past us while we're telling the story. And we just fall out laughing again. And they're looking at us like y'all was the motherfuckers in there while we was trying to get our business on.
They was trying to get their business on too, bro.
Right. God. Hey, those road trip stories are something else, man. I'm
All
telling you.
right. Hey, with that being said, you got a funny road trip story for us?
Ooh,
One that you
well,
can say without incriminating somebody
um,
or yourself?
let me, uh, yeah, I got a couple, got a couple that'll be, I guess PG-13.
Oh, they don't have to be PG-13, bro. Just as long as
It's rated R podcast, bro.
I like that. I like that.
man, just as long as you are comfortable with telling the story, you can put it out there.
It's been a lot of different crazy things. I was passing through Kentucky, and I didn't realize in Kentucky there's literally nothing. I mean,
Kentucky.
Cornfields.
you can drive for miles and miles, and it's just farmland. So
Corn.
yeah, I failed to get gas. So here I am in the middle of the night. I was actually taking when my daughter was younger. Her her it was kind of a crazy situation. I was taking a newborn like all the way up to Missouri, and I had to go through Kentucky. Didn't get gas, but I was thinking surely there'll be a gas station. Out of all these cows and chickens that I see, there will be at least a gas station and a Dollar General. I can at least count on those two things.
Right.
Boy, you was wrong.
So wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong.
I can at least count on these two things being in the middle of the country because I'm from the country, so I know how it is. So,
Right.
no, man.
Did you when you stopped in Kentucky, did any of the locals call it Kentucky?
Oh, yeah.
I told you. I fucking told you. I fucking told you. That's validation. That's validation. Somebody else heard that shit besides you. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Yeah, we had. We already said it on the Hauntings of Kentucky, but I'll say it here. Me and Chip drove up to Evansville, Indiana. We were going to Evansville, Indiana, and we made a stop when we stopped off in Grand Rivers, Kentucky, to get gas and energy drinks and cigarettes back when we smoked.
Right.
So we ended up going and. make a bet with you. I'll walk into this gas station. If I can make this lady say Kentucky, then you owe me an energy drink and a pack of cigarettes. He's like, bet. So we end up going to this gas station. We pull up on Grand Rivers, Kentucky. We end up going into the gas station. He followed in right behind me, and I intentionally said Kentucky wrong to this lady. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, what part of Kentucky are we in? She goes, I'm sorry, sweetie. What did you say? I was like, what part of Kentucky are we in? She goes, honey, it's not Kentucky. It's Kentucky. She turned around and walked out the gas station, started busting out laughing, and she goes, what's wrong with him? I'm like, man, we've been driving for a long time. We've been driving since about 6 this morning. So yeah. And then I got in the car with him, and he just Chip was staring at me for the longest time. I'm like, why are you staring at me? He goes, if I didn't hear it with my own ears, I wouldn't fucking believe it. That was a fun story, yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
know a couple guys from Kentucky, comedians. I've got the pleasure of recording with them, man. Some really good comedians out in Kentucky, man. It really is.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a few good
go ahead, Chip. I'm sorry.
Kentucky too.
Ricochet. He's the biggest one that came out of Kentucky.
Yeah. Him and Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, hey, Chucky T. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you was a big wrestling fan. Do you watch any of? You said you. I don't know if you said you watched the Modern Product. Is there any wrestler that you fuck with right now in terms of like someone who you just enjoy watching?
I'm still an old schooler, man. So like, I'll pay attention for when like somebody from old school's coming back, like somebody like Edge or The Rock when he makes his little appearances every now and then. I'm an Undertaker fan. Love Triple H. I love all the older guys, really, man. So now, as far as the newest that it goes for me, probably John Cena. What's that? I don't guess they're Roman Reigns. I guess those guys. I like those guys. What was that group called? They had a group.
You talking
The
about
Shield?
Come out of the crowd. The Shield, yeah. Shield used to come out of the crowd. I thought that was pretty cool. They were assholes, and everybody loved it. Everybody loves assholes. That's how I keep getting a girlfriend. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Fuck them assholes. Anyway.
Literally.
Anyway. Yeah. So hey, I know. All right, but we had said earlier on in the episode where we had talked about doing we were going to go to the Undisputed event that took place. We were going to, because I knew you had went there.
Right.
How big into the battle rap culture are you?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, man. I'm a huge fan. I've always been a fan. I actually I dabbled in a little battle rap before I became a comedian. But it wasn't nothing like, I didn't join a league or nothing. It was just basically a couple friends getting together and, just rapping against each other.
A couple homies spitting bars,
Yeah, just a couple homies spitting bars. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing to quit my day job about. But always been a fan of the culture. Smack URL. I support locals. Actually, I was in talks with this league in particular before the pandemic. We were talking about combining their shows with comedy, which of course it is a art form of the comedic community as well. But we were talking about maybe me cutting up a few jokes in between sets or something like that, between rounds. But that's one thing that I talked to this particular league about. So I've just been a fan of this league. Benz is the guy that runs it. It's called Finish Your Food. It's run through him. They have pretty good battles. And man, I'm telling you, man, yesterday a lot of people didn't get the battle that was supposed to battle, but it still was a good battle, man. I mean, it's still those guys. It's great to just see other art forms, because we're artists ourselves. I'm a artists in the comedic world. You guys are artists at what you guys do in wrestling, podcasting, whatever you do. It's an art form, and you're just expressing that art form to the world. You know, I support it, man. I support all different art forms and what people do. If that's what you love to do it, man. We ain't getting no younger.
No,
It's
we ain't.
time to do it before it's too late, you know. So that's why I like to grind so hard in the comedy world because uh, we never know when it's our last breath. You want to leave it all on the table.
Amen
Right.
to that, man. It's been a
Yeah.
long. Yeah. Go ahead, Chip.
I
Sorry.
ended up watching Smack Volume 6 last night. And
Oh,
oh yeah.
I still ain't got a chance to watch it yet.
Man, it was one battle got canceled. T Top and Easy that got canceled. And I can't remember why. I don't know if something came up and I think T Top wasn't able to make it.
He
So
pulled Calico.
that battle didn't happen. But man, it was some shockers on there. I never thought that Pat Stay would have got 30'd by K Shine. I thought Pat Stay would have at least
what?
yeah, bro. I thought Stay would have at
Here we
least
go.
won.
Here we go.
But man, he got 30'd. Geechee and
Uh,
Goods was amazing. I thought Arson Jerry West was good. Jerry really stepped his game up.
He did. What I
Yeah,
heard.
man, it just
Who were some of your? Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chip. I'm sorry. Who's some of your favorites to watch right now?
I'm a big Arsenal fan. I've always been an Arsenal fan.
Hell yeah. Hell
He's
yeah.
always been a favorite of mine. Elliot Ness, he's a favorite of mine. I used to watch him when I was younger, when he was
In the
with
grind time days.
yeah, making the band with Diddy. When he made them walk to get cheesecake. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Did you see the
rocking with him
battle?
then.
Did you see the battle between him and Thesaurus at the Massacre 4?
Yeah,
When he
yeah.
was like, he said, I'm a walking piece of cheesecake. But if that's the case, he's talking reckless because if I'm a walking piece of cheesecake, how far do you have to walk to get this? I was like, bro,
Right.
no, like you had talked about Ars. One of my favorite bars that he ever said was a bar that he had against Shoddy Horror. Do you remember the first battle between him and Shoddy Horror?
Oh man,
That
legendary
one of the
stuff.
coldest fucking bar I've ever heard anybody say. When he sat there and said, "I'm glad your uncle's dead, fathead." He was nothing more than a knucklehead crackhead with a face full of ringworms and head full of blackheads, deserved to get killed in that crossfire with that Mac spread. And if God ever gave him a second chance at life, I wish him back dead.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
I fell out of
yeah,
the fucking floor.
yeah.
I was like, how the
Yeah.
fuck are you not punching this motherfucker in his face for
yeah.
saying that shit?
Oh yeah.
Like, how far did somebody have to? Like, and I will admit, like, Ars has said some foul shit to some people, like some foul shit, you know. But for me personally, like, I understand that it's you are lyrically trying to kill somebody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Lyrically speaking, you know. That's why some of my favorites are like Ars. I'm a fan of Geechee. I think Geechee Gotti's probably one of the best up and comers. I don't even really think he's an up and comer anymore. I think he's arrived. You know, I think he's here now. You know, especially with the battle that he had against Averb. I want to say,
I'm
was
an
it?
Averb fan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Averb too. Go ahead. Sorry, I got some demon eyes looking at me right now. Hi. I think I woke the kids up.
yeah, I bet you
Uh-oh.
need to wake the kids up.
Yeah,
Uh-oh,
because
you-
I'm
you
laughing so
gonna get a
loud in here.
whipping. You gonna get a whipping.
I am gonna get
She
a
gonna,
whoop.
she gonna hit you with a pedigree as soon as you get off. Kick you in the balls. Go ahead.
Hey, you need to go ahead and get that on film.
Right.
That'll sell merch right there.
Yeah, it will.
So what
Oh.
do you guys have a specific finishing move that you guys have together, like the Dudley Boys or something. You know what I'm saying? No tag team will ever have a move that is like the Dudley Boys, man. You got me. So, do you guys have something y'all coordinate together when y'all doing y'all thing and it's all hyped up?
We do. Our finisher,
Most
we call it the purge.
Okay.
Um, I have the guy up on my shoulder like a running bulldog. Talon comes in with a drop
Ooh.
kick to the back of the head. I slam him down on the mat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also
That's
have another one. We have another one because we're both comic book geeks. We also have a move called the Deathstroke, uh, where Chip would hook him for a Russian leg sweep. I come in with the lung blower, boom, and as soon as I hit the lung blower, I push him off into a Russian leg sweep.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
got
then
we
we got
got quite
another
a
one.
few.
Yeah, we had another one called Face Off. Is where Chip would give somebody a backbreaker, and then I would hit the ropes and come back, and then flip over the person, grabbing their head at the same time into a cutter.
Ooh.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
visual of it, it looks like you're ripping the guy's face off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send. We can send you video. Matter of fact, if we knew how to edit shit, we would just cut it, splice it, put the video in, and then take it back.
I'm
Right.
not
That's
that
what we
I'm
be
not
doing.
that talented yet. I'm working on it though.
We're working on it. We are working on it. We are working on it.
I'll have to come see
Um,
you guys sometime.
Man,
absolutely.
this pandemic
Um,
breaks. So you said you've been doing stand-up comedy for what, about 4 years now?
Almost. It'll be 4 years in March. Yep.
Okay. What would you say is the biggest moment you've had as a stand-up comedian?
Um. Well, besides like opening up for the people that I've opened up for so far, I'd say probably the biggest moment for me that gave me the most comedic bliss was I got to host this year. I got to host my first comedy show, and I was just stoked. That's a big step in a comedian's career when they get to host a set full of other talented comedians. So I would say that was a big milestone that I was able to cross. I was able to host several different comedy shows. I even hosted the secret comedy show that also got advertised on News Channel 9 several
Nice.
times. That was probably about a month ago
Okay.
when we did those. And what the secret was, what caught everybody's attention is that we didn't reveal the location until 24 hours beforehand. So if you bought your ticket, you basically bought it blindly, not knowing where you going to be, you know. And I had some people hit me up like, "Hey, can you just let me know where it's going to be? Y'all ain't going to be in the hood or nothing, are y'all?" I was like,
Hey,
come on, trust me. I mean, if we are in the hood, at least you'll be laughing. No bullets will be flying.
that's right.
Everybody's too
You
busy
damn
laughing
straight
for
we
that
gonna be in
shit.
the
yeah,
hood.
just don't get on. Just don't get on stage wearing the wrong color. And it's like, hey, this is the only shirt I had, man. I'm sorry.
Right. Just don't throw up gang signs, and we're all good.
Right?
Right, right.
But
Uh
Yeah,
yeah, that would be that.
that's awesome. Yeah, I get that
absolutely.
question all the time because I run a youth a pro wrestling outreach program, um and everything. And
Okay.
yeah, and people are kind of iffy sometimes because of where I hold the show at. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we're right in the middle of East Chat on the corner of Glass and Chamberlain. Uh
Ooh.
yeah. That's, I mean, but that's the neighborhood I grew up in. That's the neighborhood that I
Okay.
want to give back to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I started this program over 10 years ago, just to kind of show the kids that there's more than life on the streets. So
Okay.
we hit them with a little wrestling program uh on Fridays and invite them to church on Sunday.
Yep.
Man.
I've met several people like after the show and stuff like that. Like you after the show, you'd have to help tear the ring down and things like that. But I would see some fans like very first time there, saying like, "Man, I was gonna go, do something else. And then I seen this, show, and they would say like, oh man, like you was one of my favorites tonight, man, or you helped me get through some shit, and then they end up going to the church, and it does make you feel good that you help somebody's day, you help somebody, actually. Sorry, my daughter's pulling on my leg. Hey, baby.
Right. And I get that a lot out of comedy too, man, because you never know what somebody's going through.
Right.
And somebody could be and have the shittiest day. I had one person, man, they literally walked up to me and was like, man, my mom died, my dad died, and my sister died, but I really had a good time tonight at the comedy show. And I got my leg blew off in Vietnam. I said, oh my God. Yeah, I appreciate you coming. So you really never know what people are going through. So you never know if you touch them by, coming to you guys wrestle matches, or, just being around the entertainment. People like that entertainment can just bring them up, bring the spirits up. So I get that.
Exactly.
And the wrestling ring, I've always wanted to know this. Like, is it like the floor when you fall on it? Is it like real hard? Without giving up y'all's like secret,
Okay. So
it hurts.
There is no secret. Here's the secret. And if you ever want to come and look, I own my own ring, and I'll be glad to show it to you. The secret is it's a metal frame with 2x6s on top of that, with about that much carpet padding and a canvas. That's it. There's no spring, no mattress. It's not a trampoline.
No,
it's nothing like that.
No microphone underneath the ring to enhance the sound. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's hardcore, bro. It really is. I mean, it's bare bones. Where how most companies, like, people automatically look at WWE and it's like, oh, WWE has, like, you've seen, like, I'm sure time lapse videos of them like putting together the ring and things like that. Like,
right.
I've literally, like, I watched a video, like literally watched a video of them doing setting up the ring, and the video lasted 30 seconds of them setting the ring up. And then when you realize, wait a minute, why did it take like so little time? Because I mean, you set up a ring, normally it takes a whole lot longer. No, these guys have been so trained to set up rings. They can literally put up a WWE official WWE ring, set it up, taper it off, everything in less than 5 minutes. Like, wow, they are that efficient with it. Wow. They are that efficient with it. Yeah. We used to set up the ring every show, Chip's ring to set up when it's just me, him, and a handful of other people who actually helped out. When we don't bullshit, it probably takes about maybe 30 minutes to set up. But most of the time we're bullshitting, so it takes an hour and a half. Because I mean, that's what we do. We just bullshit. Whenever you get together, it's gonna be fun, whenever you're, anytime. Is that the way it is in the comedic world? Is it the camaraderie that you have with a lot of different comedians, and it's like, man, I gotta work on this joke. Man, I really gotta work on this joke. Man, y'all stop fucking with me, man. I gotta work on this joke, and then that becomes the joke,
Right.
Is anything like that? Does anything like that happen?
Absolutely, man. It's great camaraderie in the comedy world, man, around this area. I have a lot of different guys, man. Like, sometimes we actually hold basically a study group for comedians where we get together with our joke book and we just bounce off ideas. We'll be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? We'll bring an old joke. Hey, give me advice on how I should spice this sauce up a little bit, So it's great that we're able to do that and be confident in our ability enough, and you don't got to worry about nothing. I mean, it's great, man, that everybody's like willing to give feedback on everything. So
now does that become dangerous waters in a sense? And the reason I asked that question is because there have been some comedians. The most notable one has been Carlos Mencia, where he would legitimately steal people's material, and that he would do like, if he knew the next person who's coming on stage, if he knew his closing bit, he would do their closing bit before he brought them up on stage. Is it because obviously stealing jokes, especially when it's like original material, it's a big, big no-no in the comedy world. Have you ever experienced anything like that where it's like you heard a joke and then instantly you're thinking to yourself, I've heard that joke before. Where have I heard that joke before?
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of times that you hear jokes and you're like, I've definitely heard that. I can't pinpoint it, but I've heard that. But as far
Right.
as like around here, we don't have that problem around here, really, man. And
Yeah.
that I've seen so far, like everybody pretty much likes to hone their craft and likes to go around their life or whatever, or the situation might be, and because it feels better, because we all have an understanding on it feels better to have to create your own art. I don't want to go steal a Picasso painting and be like, man, I did that myself. It would not make me feel any good about myself knowing that I stole it from somebody else. So a lot of us are, and a lot of us have that same mind frame. We're just like, hey, we create our own stuff. We applaud each other when somebody's on fire, and if they're not on fire, we instead of like kicking the brother while he's down, there's people that are actually offering like, hey, ways to, hey, this is where you can spice this joke up. Hey, this is just an idea on how you can spice this or that joke up, or maybe
Yeah.
you can
Steel
say this
sharpens
or
steel.
that here first.
Right. So it's still sharpening steel pretty much.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you ever just sit around and think of different ways to tell the same joke? That way, like it's a good joke, but you're like, man, I can't keep telling it this exact same way. How's a different way I can tell this joke?
Happens all the time. Actually, it happens. Man, I got jokes that I wrote literally the first year I ever did stand up that I literally just brought back and revived. I just added some stuff that I thought would spice it up, and it actually worked. Um, Sometimes you'll bring old jokes and revive them. Sometimes you'll take a new joke and what I've done also before, I've took a new joke and added some of the old stuff in with it and made it more modern for today, and it works. So really, what I like to do, because sometimes I don't like to say writer's block, so I still like to jog my mind when that happens. So what I'll do is I'll work on older stuff, instead of trying to create something new. Hey, how can I spice this or that joke up? Or how can I, add a little more or take a little less from this or that joke? So just looking at ways to, you know, work on the material I got or bring something back and revive it. Because I've had a joke before that bombed and I knew it sucked, but I went back and I put a lot of spice in the sauce and it revived it up and it brought it back to life. So it happens. It's part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember the one thing that again we're going back. We're going to talk a lot about Luke Martyr on this one because Luke was a mentor of mine in a
Okay.
sense. He always I did this one bit where I talked about how when I first met my wife, and I met my wife on MySpace.
Right.
And then I heard somebody I was like, okay, you millennials look confused. MySpace, going into that whole deal. But then it kind of was like, wait a second. Technically, if you want to go by that logic, I'm basically in that same category of as a millennial or whatever. So, then that's when I had to change up to say like, oh, me and my wife met on MySpace. And then it's like, look at all the millennials in here. Like, oh, that's old school right there. Like I had to change it up because it was, different,
Right.
and then that was into the LimeWire, Napster, all this different shit, and different things like that. So you have to reinvent the wheel in a sense. And it's like that, not just for stand up or not just, because I mean, even now in a sense of professional wrestling, like I'm fixing to make my return here in a couple of weeks, but I'm not going to do the same thing that I was doing because then it's like, it's the same old talent, you're not going to
Okay.
bring any more new eyes to this, new person because it's just the same old person. You got to bring something new to the table whenever you're coming back, in a sense, reinventing yourself.
Right.
So is it like every time you go on stage, is it you constantly reinventing yourself?
Absolutely. You definitely want to uh, be better than you were before, because in the comedy business, it's basically what have you done for me lately? You know, I mean, a lot of people were talking about the whole Kevin Hart new stand up not being that funny, and then they're criticizing about that because it's a like I said, it's a what have you done for me lately? Yeah, the jokes you told or may have told before at a certain show when people were there might have been hilarious, but a lot of people are holding you accountable for, okay, if I come again or if I'm coming today to see you, are you going to be either as funny or funnier than you were before? So
Right.
yeah, definitely reinventing yourself each time. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, man. Because you want to. It's kind of like a lot of these. You got a lot of 40-year-old rappers out here. All they've done is just reinvented themselves to make their sound a little bit more newer to keep their fan base fresh, and you got to go with the times. It's part of it in a lot of different scenarios, like you said. Even in you guys' world, man, you know, people are like, hey, I don't want to see the same old Chipper Talon. You know, I want to let's see if he can bring something new to the table that we ain't seen before, something that can get us back intrigued again. So
Right.
yeah, absolutely, I get it.
Yep.
Go ahead, Chip.
I was gonna say, looking at maybe wrapping this up here in the next few minutes. Um, what th- if you don't want to answer this question, uh, because it might take away from a set or whatnot, that's fine. Uh, but I was just sitting here wondering, listening to you talk. What is your favorite joke that you've ever told?
Oh, that's a good one. Uh, I got a couple. One that I was really, really proud of, I'll say. Because that could be. There's an old one that I'm real proud of, but then again, there's a new one that I'm really proud of because I used to be a wrestling. Like I said, I used to be a huge wrestling fan,
Tell both
and
of them. Tell both of them.
right. I don't want to give away from the set because I'm still using that one.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, tell the one that you're not currently using in a set.
okay. So there's this one. Uh, Again, damn it, Bill Cosby. That's all I can say. Damn it, Bill Cosby. But
Does, does the
it's
joke
a joke
revolve?
about
Does the
Bill
joke
Cosby.
involve Rohypnol?
The joke basically pokes fun at Bill Cosby and kind of what he did.
Hmm.
And it was actually one of my first jokes that hit to where I was like, okay, hey, your penmanship might not be that bad.
All right.
So
Right.
I basically tell a story where I tell a story about my dad getting raised, and we ended up going uh, from like a hood all black school to like an all white Catholic school. And I said, can you imagine the vibe in the room on my first day? You would have thought Bill Cosby was the special guest at a bring your own booze sorority party.
Yes, I love it. Oh,
I dig it.
I love it.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it so
But yeah,
much.
that's one of my older ones that when I wrote that, I was like, okay, your penmanship might be pretty decent. So I've always been proud of that one. It's
Yep.
retired right now, but it's something that I keep in my back pocket for a rainy day. If I went somewhere I've never been before, and it's like for a starter joke, I'll throw that out there. But it's been a while.
Uh,
Right.
what goals do you have for the upcoming year, 2021 coming up? What goals do you have as a stand up comedian?
Go harder than I did before. I want to do a little bit more work at the Comedy Catch. I've been let's see. Let me word everything correctly. I love the comedy catch, man. I do. I love the comedy
Yep.
catch. I love Bridget. She does a lot to help me. I would like to do a little bit more shows there, man. As far as like on the weekends, I'd like to do some feature work there, or maybe some hosting, whatever the case may be. That's always been a goal of mine, and I'm getting real close to it. Um, getting real close to that goal. But an overall goal would be is to just keep finding the funny, man. Just keep writing, keep getting being a better writer, trying to be the best comedian, person, father, all the above that I can be, man. That's what 2020 is. I hope brings for me is just to be a better all around
Right.
person that
Uh,
I can be.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, one more quick question though. And I noticed that we live in a day and age where cancel culture is a big thing. We live in
Hmm.
a day and age where you have to be, it's almost as if comedians, stand up comics have to be very, very leery of what they can talk about and what they can't talk about on stage. Um, do you feel that pressure more so today in today's climate as opposed to previous climates before, as you got into the business? Is it worse now than it's ever been before in terms of certain jokes you can't say because you don't want to offend a certain demographic of people or a certain political candidate, fan base or whatever? Like, is it more difficult today to come up with creative material that basically could make everybody laugh as opposed to like distancing yourself from other people?
Absolutely, man. And I'm gonna take you to an experience of mine. I competed in the World Series of Comedy, which is basically like a playoff for like comedians. I performed at the
Yeah.
World Series of Comedy one time, and I did pretty decent. The judge told me one thing. He said I went a little bit. Oh God, I went a little bit out there with my jokes. I mean, out like I could see my mom cringing if she was there, but she wasn't. But
Right.
yeah, it was pretty wild. I went out there, a little bit more dirtier than I usually go, but I was trying some stuff out, and the judge told me, he said, putting yourself out there like that is okay only if you have your own special and your audience is catered to that. Because if not, you can risk the chance of offending somebody and not really realizing you've done it, or not tried to, but you just used it, and didn't really understand your audience first. So that's something that I take into consideration when I'm writing, because there are some jokes. I do have a whole garbage can full of wadded up paper. It happens. I mean, I have some shit I threw away, some shit that I have ready, but I'm like, should I do it or should I not? So, I'm real big on trying not to offend anybody, because in my business, I'm trying to get, because if you like me, you're going to come back. You're going to tell your friends. You're going to, put me out there for my art form, which is what we want, right? We want people to
Right.
enjoy our art form enough to where they tell friends about it, like a mom and pop store. Word of mouth is the best thing that gets people to motivated to support different art forms. I mean, you know, let's say if you weren't a fan, let's say if somebody wasn't a fan of wrestling, I would be more open. Let's say if I wasn't a fan of wrestling, I would be more open to my one of my friends, one of my homies coming up to me and being like, "Hey, you should come check this match out. These guys are really good." Even if I didn't like wrestling, just because my friend came to me and was like, "Hey, I've watched these guys. They're good. Let's go check it out." That part of that word of mouth is going to make me come and be more prone to support that different art form and be more open to it. So I do, and then with bad experiences, like shit, somebody fucks up on what's that one? There's a saying that people will only tell the other person if they had a bad experience and not a good experience.
Exactly.
100%
You
accurate.
know,
Exactly.
they'll spread the word on a bad experience quicker than they will a good.
Yeah. Because it goes back to the old saying. I mean, I've said it before. Chip said it before too. You can do a million things right, no one gives a fuck. You fuck up one time, they'll never let you forget it. Fucked up. That's the way the world works.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I try to
man.
keep it balanced on my end. You know.
Yeah,
So,
the yin and the yang, if you will.
Yep.
right.
That's
Absolutely.
we have this saying over here at Movement Radio. It's stay consistent and keep grinding because it's all God's plan.
Okay. Ooh.
Uh
Yep.
yeah, that's where
Let's say, what you drinking on?
Me a little beer, man. I'm a beer drinker, man.
yeah, that's
Drinking on a natty daddy.
natty
Oh,
daddy.
God.
Right?
Oh God, Natty Ice. Oh my God. I'd rather drink bull piss than drink fucking Natty Ice.
Me too, but that was all in the fridge, so everything must go.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
Crazy. Crazy.
yeah, man. You got anything coming up in the next month? What you got coming up in the next month?
Here next month, I'm actually excited. I got some projects coming in Atlanta. Probably be participating in the competition next month. Got some more big out of town things coming. Possibly going to be doing some. I potentially got my first feature spot coming up out of town.
Hell yeah.
Here in the next 3 months. Um, I want my people to be on the lookout for that. That's a big milestone. So I'm looking at a lot of milestones for my comedy career coming up for 2021. So
Nice.
I'm looking at it to be a bigger year than it was last year or this year.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Where do you have a web page, anything where people can go and follow AC Hutchison?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, Alex AC Comedy. Start looking for skits. About to start putting some skits out. About to link up with my boy Ben Green. We're about to put some stuff out.
Shout out to you, Benny.
Yeah, shouts out to Ben Green. He's a mastermind
He is.
behind the camera. So we're gonna link up. We're gonna do some skits. I'm gonna be putting some more skits. Just doing some more. Look for more comedic shit out of me. I know it's been. I've had a little hiatus for a little bit. Had some life shit going on. You know, that's how it is. But it's time to bring back the funny and bring in a fucking abundance of that shit. I mean, I'm trying to yam it down your throat. I mean, I don't care with no regard. So
Nice. Nice.
Laughter is the best medicine, right?
Right. And laughter is the best medicine. You can catch me also on Facebook, Alex AC Comedy. You can like my page. I also post my dates there on where I will be. Instagram, Alex AC Hutch. You can catch me on Snapchat, Bubonic Sonic. And
Bubonic Sonic.
I love it. I fucking love it.
God, Bubonic Sonic.
Yes, I fucking love it.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Bubonic Sonic.
Yeah.
What's
Fuck
next?
yeah.
Corona Cordova? I mean, what the fuck is that?
Yes.
Oh shit.
What about
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Plague White Dreads? I don't know what the fuck.
Right.
Oh, good Jesus. All right, bro.
Yeah.
I cannot
I'm
thank
gonna
you
get all
enough.
your AC.
Yeah.
Send me all of your links. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
Absolutely.
Twitter, Snapchat, Venmo, Cash App, whatever, send it to me. We'll put it in the description. That way people can,
Okay.
they'll have everything they need to find you.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys for having me. I support the movement. All
Yeah.
the fans, anybody follow me, support the movement. These are my guys, Chip and Talent.
I
Hey,
cannot,
man,
bro. I cannot thank you enough for doing this for us, bro. I
you
mean,
already know.
I've been wanting to get you on for a minute, like,
It's
cause
all love. We go back.
we had, yeah, we go back. Like we've been trying to get guests on for a minute though. Like the first time we did an evening was with our buddy Brad Cash, and it was like 8 hours long, so we had to condense it down to 4 episodes.
Right, right.
And then the guy who we've been friends with for a very long time, my personal trainer Sean Thompson, we did a 4 hour episode with him. And you, I think you're the fourth episode because we our buddy Roger Sierra, who's also another member of the movement on Movement Radio, he has helped us out with a buddy of his. So you're the fourth person who has done this.
Oh yeah.
This particular segment of the podcast. So again, bro, thank you so much for doing it for us,
Hey,
man.
appreciate you guys, bro.
Man, the
Yeah,
pleasure,
man. Thank you so much for
honestly, the
support,
pleasure
man.
has
And
been
hey,
mine. Talon has, man, he's talked you up, and man, he didn't miss. Man, you funny,
Yes, sir.
funny as
Yes,
hell down to
sir.
earth. Man, I just personally from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for coming on. Talon and I say this all the time. We've come a long way from two local Chattanooga guys that, I mean, we didn't know shit about anything a year and a half ago, and now we're 125 episodes in and gaining
Yes,
traction.
sir.
Uh,
To y'all, man. Appreciate you. The pleasure, man.
absolutely, bro. We appreciate it so much. And we're gonna do a little bit of a plug. Go check out AC Hutchison on, like what he said, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Go check out his stuff. Also, real quick, storefrontier.com. Make sure you check out the merch page. Get you some merch. We'll send you some merch hopefully soon, but you got to pay the $6. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so damn, I figured I'd get a chuckle at least. Fuck. There you go. There you go. But yeah, man, shout out to you, man. God, man, podpage.com/movement radio. Go check out the archives and everything. AC, we love you, man. Thank you for being on the show, man. We really do appreciate
you.
Absolutely. Chip, that being said, let's hit him with the outro.
Please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, share, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform.
Follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get notified of our latest videos.
I am Chip Hazard.
I am Talon Williams.
And this is Movement Radio.
We out.